The fallout continues from the College Football Playoff Committee choosing to put Alabama in the playoff rather than Florida State. And I completely understand the reaction from several different angles. One is that there are those that believe that the SEC bias is real and inherent, and I don't think you're outrageous for thinking that. I told you yesterday the SEC was not going to leave out a one, or the college football playoff rather was not going to leave out a one-loss SEC champion under no circumstances. They were going to get the benefit of the doubt, and frankly, the SEC has earned that benefit of the doubt. I don't have a problem with that, but if your argument is that the committee is biased against the SEC, I think that's a fair and valid criticism. I also told you I didn't think that there was ever going to be a chance that the committee was going to leave out that that one-loss SEC champ, and I didn't think there was a chance that the committee was going to leave out an undefeated Power 5 champ. But in my opinion, and I think obviously the committee's opinion, Florida State was the conference champion of the fifth best conference, and when there's only spots for four, number 5 ain't it. But I think the committee did Florida State, its fan base, its program a favor. And while you don't want to hear that right now, it is the reality. And I think it truly was a favor because reality sucks. There's a reason that there aren't many people out here raw dogging life, that they're all hopped up on meds, doing whatever they can to escape reality. It's the reason we love sports, right? It's because how many times we hear somebody say, especially over the course of the last, 8 years or so, of like, I don't want political crap in my sports. It's what I do to escape reality. Reality sucks a lot of the time, and confronting reality sucks. And you know what would have sucked for Florida State on January 1st? Getting absolutely demolished in the college football playoff, which was likely to happen. I don't think even the most ardent Seminole supporter, if you injected them with truth serum, do you think you could win the national championship right now? Because I don't think they do. I don't think there was a chance for Florida State to win the national championship. I don't think Florida State was going to beat both Michigan and then either Texas or Washington to win the national title. It just, I don't think, was all that likely to happen. But now, Florida State can spend the rest of its days, whether it's Mike Norvell, the players, the administration, the fan base, or the ACC as a whole, can spend until the end of time thinking about what might have been. And what might have been is a hell of a lot more fun, pleasant, and enjoyable to think about than reality if you went to the Sugar Bowl or went to the Rose Bowl and got your ass handed to you. What might have been is a beautiful, idealistic thing to think about. You can dream up any scenario in your head you'd like, and nothing can say that wasn't going to happen. But the reality of playing in that game was you were likely to get trounced. And instead of spending the rest of your days saying, remember when 13-0 Florida State went to the Rose Bowl and got a 50 burger hung on them? You can go, remember when Florida State got snubbed? Remember when Florida State was the only undefeated Power 5 champion to never get in the college football playoff? And the committee left us out. And you know what could have happened? We could have had a magical run. We could have beat Michigan. We could have beat Texas, beat Washington in the national championship. We could have done all of those things. And nobody can take that away from you. The word could in this situation and scenario is a very powerful word because it unlocks unlimited possibilities. If Florida State had got into the college football playoff, there could have been an alien invasion during the game. And We could have had to respect our new alien overlords during the Rose Bowl. That could have happened. And there's nobody to say, uh-uh. That's a powerful thing to have because reality is you got stomped. And I realize that it's kind of a dichotomy. It's the same thing. Like, we're never going to know what would or could have happened. But do you believe, as a Florida State fan in your heart of hearts, or a college football fan in general, that Florida State was going to beat Michigan and that Florida State was then going to go on to beat Washington or Texas? No. Then could is a hell of a lot better in this situation than fighting through what, in all likelihood, was about to happen. And if I had to choose, and believe me, I've been there before. When you thought you deserved to be in the playoff, you didn't get there. I've been on the other side too, where my favorite team was in the playoff, and I thought, I don't know that we deserve to be in the playoff right now, and you get your ass kicked, just shoved around the field, and you are uncompetitive. Believe me when I tell you that I would rather my team have played in a meaningless exhibition bowl game than get embarrassed on the national stage and have everybody continue to question your team, your coach, your players, the validity of your conference, why you continue to come up short in big game after big game after big game, all of the things that come with playing on that stage. The only positive of winning a semifinal game is that you get to play in the national championship game. And if you don't win that one, nobody looks back and says, like, Ryan Day has coached in the national championship game, which means he won a college football playoff semifinal. And if you were to ask the average Ohio State fan what their view on Ryan Day was, they would say, well, he doesn't win big games. You won a college football playoff semi. By coaching in the national championship game, by definition, you have won big games. And the knock is, he doesn't win big games. The only thing that, like, if you lose the college football playoff semifinal, nobody goes, well, at least you made the playoffs. Nobody has that view. Nobody takes that stance. It just doesn't exist. Nobody says, like, oh, wow, you know what? That was a really good year for the Seminoles. Nobody looks back on that at the 13-1 team that lost by 45 to Michigan in the Rose Bowl, that lost by 20, that lost by even 6. And if they go to overtime, it doesn't matter. You lost. The consequences that come with that loss super outweigh well, at least we made it to the national championship game. Because you know what? Nobody in college football is like, man, how about TCU last year, huh? What a great run that was. All anybody cares about is they got waxed in the college football playoff championship game. Nobody, there just isn't the reward for making the Final Four isn't great. Unless you win the whole damn thing, nobody cares. And so if you weren't going to win the whole damn thing, and let's be honest, I don't think Florida State fans truly in their heart of hearts believe, damn it, we're the best team in the country and we got snubbed from the national title. Did you get snubbed from a chance to win the national title? Sure. Just like me sitting in this hotel room right now snubs me from a chance from bumping uglies with Kate Upton. Was it likely to happen? No. But since she's not staying in this hotel too, therefore there's no chance of it happening. That's not fair. You're right. It's not fair. Life's not fair, and it sucks. But till the end of time, you can walk around thinking about what could have been, what might have been, if only, if only, if only. And if only and could have are a lot better than what reality was likely to dish out. And nobody wants to hear that right now. The wound is still open and raw, and it hurts. And that's what makes the sport great, is that you're that passionate about it and that it's going to sting for a while. But if you have to choose between playing in the college football playoff, losing, or playing Georgia in the Orange Bowl, and if you lose, everybody's validated, and if you win, you're vindicated, to me, that's a better scenario. Playing in an Orange Bowl that doesn't mean anything sure beats the idea of playing in a game that all the cards are stacked against you, and the expectation is you're going to get trounced. It's better for, and I disagree with the idea that college football as a whole, as a sport, was wronged and harmed by yesterday's decision. I don't think that's true. I think Florida State was harmed by yesterday's decision. I think the ACC was harmed by yesterday's decision. I think those are undeniable facts. But the sport as a whole, I don't believe, was wronged yesterday by the choice for Alabama rather than Florida State. I don't believe that. And I believe, as a whole, the committee did Florida State a favor. Because if the options are put you in a situation where winning is highly, highly, highly unlikely, where I'm putting you in a situation to fail with the expectation that you will fail, or giving you a chance to prove us wrong, I don't, I'm gonna, if your options are expectation of failure, or there's no repercussions if you lose to Georgia, and there were lots of repercussions for a lot of people if you lost to Michigan. It's an imperfect scenario in an imperfect system, in an imperfect situation, and an imperfect science. Florida State just got the raw end of the deal, and that sucks. But I just think, having been there before, having been there when you think, I don't know if we're good enough to be in the top four, and then you get proven right, the repercussions of that suck. The repercussions and the downfall, the outcome, the fallout from being on that stage, the sport's biggest stage, and thinking, I don't know that we belong here, and then being proven right, I'd, I'd take the opportunity to play a meaningless exhibition damn near every time. So it sucks, and it breaks my heart to read Jordan Travis's tweet yesterday where he apologizes to his team and fan base for nothing that he controlled whatsoever. It sucks. But the alternative is finding out you weren't good enough, or you're not nearly as good as you think you are. That's a bad proposition as well. So letting your imagination run wild about what could have happened beats reality, at least for me. And I hope you can view that someday if you're an FSU fan. That'll do it for today's episode of the Daily Huddle. Appreciate you making us a part of your day, however it is, wherever it is you're doing so. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're getting all that great college football content we're pumping out here at Saturday Glory. If you are listening on the podcast, drop a 5-star review. It really goes a long way in helping out the channel. Be back at it tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel here on Saturday Glory with the Daily Huddle.